All right, we are live. Welcome to another episode of the Managing Partners podcast. We film these live, and these will also be up on YouTube, LinkedIn, and our website at arraylaw.com. Today, I have an awesome guest, Bredric Berry. Bredric, thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank
How
you
you
very
doing today?
much. Thank you very much for having me on, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Happy Friday. We're still working while other people are probably tuning out, right? So
All right. It's
if you
summertime.
are tuning in,
Everybody headed to Miami.
that's right. If you are tuning in, you got any questions for Bredric, just ask him. We will get to those towards the end, but we will answer your questions, and he'll share any insight he can. Bredric, so first question, just to get things kicked off real quick, just so our audience and anyone watching in the future kind of understands where you are in your business, in your law firm. That way they can, see how they may relate to what you have going on. So tell us a little bit about yourself and your firm. That could be your practice areas, size of your firm, staff, and then how long you've been in business.
Okay, well, my name is Bredric Berry. Also go by Mr. Make It Go Away. That's kind of like my hashtag tagline. I am originally from Dallas, Texas. I moved to Houston probably about 4 or 5 years ago to go to law school. And I graduated law school from Texas Southern University's Thurgood Marshall School of Law in 2019. And so I actually am a recent graduate. I graduated law school right before COVID kind of took off. And once COVID hit, I was juggling around at a few different firms. And I decided, you know what, I'm going to invest in myself. I'm going to bet on myself. And I started my own law firm. My law firm is called the Bredric Berry Law Group. We're primarily based here in Houston, Texas. We service a wide variety of practice areas. I do personal injury cases. I do business and entertainment, criminal defense, and I also have some civil litigation going. So kind of getting a wide variety of things to open up. But I'm really loving it so far. You know, every day is different. You learn something different. And I'm just happy to be able to impact people's lives.
Man, that's really cool. And yeah, bet on yourself, invest in yourself. It's the one bet you can't lose on. So I love that. And you started basically in the midst of COVID, right?
Yeah, yep. I started pretty much. I got licensed in probably November of 2019, and then COVID hit that spring. So it was like, oh, the whole world, is changing, and it really caused a lot of changes in the law. But I felt like they kind of worked in my favor because I'm younger and I'm a little bit more used to using technology, and so it kind of played right into my hands. So I'm kind of, COVID sucked. I hate that lives were lost and everything like that, but it definitely allowed for a business opportunity.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've heard others that I've actually had on the show here that started around that time or just started just because they were younger and started maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They were already video based and technology based and paperless and all those things that, larger, older, established firms are going to be it's going to be tough for them to make that shift. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are hesitant to kind of work that way, and COVID kind of forced them to, have to get on board. So it's going to be interesting now too to see how things play out in the future. Regarding courts, are they going to continue to allow remote hearings, different things like that? So it's going to be very interesting to see how the legal field is impacted post COVID.
Yeah, well, I think not only did the firms have to make quick changes, but the courts, probably got moved 10 years into the future overnight.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, big time.
Which could be a good thing. I mean, obviously COVID terrible, but some positive side effects.
Right, most definitely.
Yeah. Again, if you're tuning in, ask any questions, we'll get those towards the end. And I'm going to keep asking Broderick some of my questions. So next question, what's the biggest challenges that your ideal client faces? So when they come to you or they don't even know about you, right? what are some of the challenges they're facing that you see most commonly that obviously you're going to assist them with?
Well, I think one of the first challenges is finding an attorney that relates to you and that's knowledgeable about your situation. I'm from Dallas, and I didn't know a lot of attorneys growing up, and so I think for most of at least your average client, first they have to find an attorney, and then the next obstacle that they face is trying to make sure that there is some type of result to their situation. A lot of times some clients have expectations or desires that are beyond what can even be done. And so trying to make sure that they understand, okay, this is where your position is, and this is what the potential result could be or could not be, and kind of going from there. Each situation is different. And so, I think the first step though is finding somebody that's knowledgeable and relatable to you so that you can, then potentially be in the best situation to get a resolution.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think when depending on the situation you're in, and starting a business, you have some time, you plan, you're going to do it. Personal injury, totally different. You're not planning on getting hurt, and so yeah, you probably go, what do I do? Who do I call? And if you don't have any friends.
It's funny that you mentioned the business. A lot of my clients are business clients, and they have their own companies they're getting off the ground. And oftentimes, what I see is, business owners, entrepreneurs, CEOs, they're so idea oriented, right? Like, this is the concept, this is the deal that I want to get done. Let's move around. Oh yeah, call whoever, get whoever done. But that's not always the best thing to do. You always need to check and make sure legally, okay, am I protected in this deal that I'm trying to do before I go and give the overhead? Or, all right, maybe we should, request some documents first from them and verify that the position that they say they're actually in before you go and invest this money. Or different scenarios like that, so oftentimes when we talk about obstacles and concerns, that's one of the things that sticks out to me is, so a lot of times people jump and do something and then they're like, hey, attorney, please fix it. When it's often better to go to the attorney first, discuss the situation, discuss the business opportunity, or whatever the situation may be, and then kind of formulate a plan of action.
Yeah, that's a good point right there. I may have done that a few times. I'm not sure, but
I think we all have.
Sometimes we're proactive. Hey, can you look into this, or can we do this? And throw curveballs at the lawyers, but yeah, I think it's a good thing. I definitely, when you mentioned entertainment, where I've actually had a lot of really amazing entertainment lawyers that have come on the show here with me, and I feel like the biggest mistake I hear is, say you write a song, and then waiting till later on to where you get some traction with it to like worry about copywriting it and protecting it. Whereas like you need to do that right up front.
Yeah, that definitely happens often, and you actually increase your liability by going about things that way. The way they have it set up is there's a certain fine for each infraction. So we live in a streaming time. You think about it, you took that song but didn't get clearance, and now somebody streamed it and you went for 30 million streams. You look at how much you potentially, open yourself up to. So it's definitely a smart thing to check with the attorney before you start putting things out, especially things that have to do with creative content that are owned by other people.
Yeah, that's a good point right there for sure. So, all right. So let's go to a little bit different kind of questions and talk about some marketing, talk about some some ways you guys get your clients. And so that's my next question is, what are some of the ways that you gain clients?
So primarily, I think a lot of our clients come from word of mouth. They come from referrals. I think that building relationships is so important, and how you treat people, how you make people feel, that's what conveys over to them later down the line, recommending you or referring you business. Outside of that, I think that social media has been very successful as far as a marketing tool. We live in more of a digital age than we ever have before, thanks to COVID and technology. And so, knowing how to work social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I've seen attorneys go on TikTok. So just trying to navigate those different platforms, I think makes a world of difference when it comes to advertising as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's always a new platform coming out, and you got to think, do I jump in that? Do I get in there early? Or is it not the platform
Right.
for me? And I think, there's some platforms that are good for business and some are not. So it really depends on what you're doing, what your business is versus, product versus service. But you got to be kind of ready to pivot, and make changes where you need to, and take advantage of those opportunities for sure. So next question is really, have you found marketing, and you kind of hinted on that to social media, but what have you found that's worked very well? And if you wouldn't mind also kind of throw in there about the make it go away, and kind of like what you've done there would be,
Yeah,
cool.
so Make It Go Away is kind of like my own personal brand. It started back in college, getting into situations, and I would go and talk to whoever or go handle it, and everything would go away. And so kind of just stuck with me. Originally, my friends were saying it, and then in law school, throughout the different advocacy things that I was involved in, it kind of stuck. And now here in practice, that's just what my clients call me. That's what people say in the community. And so I just kind of ran with it and started, fully try to market myself in different ways, and that it's working so far.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, I saw you. You kind of have like a brand, like a logo, and all kinds of stuff like that. I was checking a little bit out on some of the stuff on your Instagram as well. So make it go away. It's cool. It's catchy. It's different. It's and it obviously it makes sense. Who do we call when you make it go away? That's right.
Yeah, Bredric Berry, Mr. Make It Go Away.
I can see big billboards with your face on it.
Yeah, it's going to go down. Like I said, I'm just starting out, but I have a lot of big ideas. So hopefully, when you get in your car, you'll hear me on the radio. When you get on your TV, you'll see me on the screen. When you get on YouTube, you'll see me on YouTube. We have a lot of plans over the next 5 to 10 years, and so I think now it's all about discipline and execution. I think that's what makes the difference, and that's what I'm focused on.
Well, since you're kind of going down that path, my next question is, what's your plans for, improving your marketing even more? Obviously, you're a newer firm, you're growing, so there's going to be a natural kind of progression there. But what's the next? What does this year look like? What is next year? What are kind of some of your plans for marketing and implementation? Things you need to work on versus things you're just kind of double down on.
Well, I think one of the things I need to work on is planning ahead. Right now I have a very small staff. It's me and my firm, and then I work with a few independent contractors. And so planning ahead, getting out a quarter ahead as far as the marketing, what we're going to do, which strategies are we going to partner with these people for events, all those different type of things, getting out months in ahead, I think will make a world of advantage, at least from an improvement standpoint. And when we start talking about my firm, right now our biggest thing is getting together the recruiting. My goal is to start partnering with different law firms, and we're going to form our own internship program. And through the internship program, be able to train and groom young lawyers so that they are able to pass the bar and come out and run and hit the ground running. I think that recruiting is one of the most essential things to forming and creating a successful company, especially a company that you want to last. And also creating systems, continuing to go through and say, okay, in a personal injury case, these are the first steps, these are the next steps. This is the flow chart of a criminal case, trying to prepare your defense or different things like that. Just trying to create those systems so that after we have recruited the best and the brightest, now here, this is what you need to do. This is how we can train you so that you can execute.
Yeah, 100%. I think, with my firm, I guess we're coming up on 20 full time. Been doing this for a little bit of time, and actually my business partner wrote a book called $1 Million Journey. So basically, it took about 8 to 10 years to get to $1 million in revenue with our business.
Okay.
And this was his journey by himself before we were together. So, but now it's like we get it, we got it, and so systems, processes, recruiting, marketing, all those things, sales, marketing working together. It takes a long time to figure all that stuff out, and people can tell you and bang you over the head, but it kind of takes that. It takes yourself going,
Right.
Oh, I get it. Now I'm going to do this. So, sometimes it just takes time and mistakes to kind of get there.
And it takes time to find out what works for you. Because what works for you doesn't necessarily, you can't always do what the other person is doing. I have, some colleagues, they go on Instagram and they post, the settlement checks. They're like, hey, I just got this person $100,000 for the car accident. And it's like, well, is that strategy going to work for you though? So trying to analyze what will work for you and where you're trying to take your business, I think, is a key distinction.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, something that we've kind of led or done here in my company is, and my business partner, Eric, actually made a comment. Great book. So, go buy his book, everybody, if you're watching. Is questioning everything or question everything. And so, if you see a firm that does it this way, you might want to say, all right, well, they're successful. Maybe they know what they're doing, but is there another way to do it? Is there a way that, my firm can do it different?
Right.
How do we stand out? What makes us different than the other firms down the street? So, finding your own way, I think is definitely just part of the journey of entrepreneurship, so makes it fun. You don't always make the right choice, but at least you paid your own, you made your own path. So.
Right, and you learn from it. After you've done one thing one way, you're able to say, okay, well, did it work like I wanted it to or not? And that requires being super honest with yourself. But once you make that decision and you make that analysis, you're able to move forward and do, whatever else needs to be done.
Yeah, love it. So what's the best way? I mean, I got your website right here. We'll put that up. But for others tuning in, watching the show, what's the best way to connect with you from social media? Is there a particular, is it Instagram? I saw you got a pretty good following there.
Yeah, you can always add me at my law firm's page. My law firm is on all social media, R. Berry Law, or you can add me personally. My social media page is Mr. Make It Go Away. Very easy, simple to remember. Bredric Berry, Mr. Make It Go Away. And you can always reach out to me by website or telephone. I keep my phone on me at all times, 24 hours a day. 713-324-8886. And like I said, Mr. Make It Go Away, or you can add rberrylaw.net. Big things are going to come from me. Big things are going to come from the law firm. So, you can bet the bank on that.
I love it. That's the same response I have when I talk to people. So big things coming, just getting started, just getting warmed up. I like it when people say, hey man, you slow down a little bit, you work too much, or maybe, you've lost, like I'm not even close to where we need to go.
We're just warming up. Every day we're thinking of new ideas, trying to think of how, I'm trying to think of how I can cause some innovation in the legal industry. What ways can I break the traditional mold and do some of the things that need to be done to help, our future right now and the future generations. And so I'm excited. I'm excited. Entrepreneurship is exciting. So I can't wait.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share? Anything news or big things coming up you want to share? Or
Yeah, well, so right now I just, first want to tell you thank you for having me on. And, let everybody know, like I said, they can follow me on social media at Mr. Make It Go Away, at R. Berry Law, my firm, the Ruby Berry Law Group. We're here in Texas. And, we're going to hold it down, and I'm going to do everything I can to make it go away. So holler at me if you need me.
All right. Well, then, everybody, you heard that. Reach out, connect. And if you're in his area or in Texas, you can use his help in a legal situation. And definitely reach out, check out his website. Bredric, please stick around. We'll hang out in the studio here in a second. And everyone else, happy Friday. Have a good weekend. Be safe, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Take it easy.
Yes, sir. Thank you.